feel like I'm too prominent. So wait,
Comes
there we go. I'm putting on glasses to make me look smart.
It's so funny. I purposely did not wear my glasses.
I feel like I look educated.
Interesting. See, these are comments only made by people who don't wear glasses.
Yeah.
Like, only people who don't wear glasses say these types of things. Everyone who wears glasses knows it's annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
We wish we didn't have to. We don't think we look smart, we think it looks dumb.
Oh my gosh.
But then people who don't wear glasses are always like, oh my gosh, I want glasses to have that, like, nerdy aesthetic. And I'm like, bro, not an aesthetic.
See the aesthetic, that's what's ruining society. Everyone's doing it for the aesthetic,
Like,
clearly.
Billie Eilish?
Yes.
Those are fake glasses.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. And then I watched an interview and someone was like, are those real? And she was like, no, they're fake. And I'm like, see, spoken like a true person who's never had to use glasses.
Who's never had to go to the eye doctor, who's never had to go to the prescription of anything. So, yeah.
Literally. This is Celine.
This is Heidi.
And welcome to In the
Adows. Oh my gosh, it's been
That's
such
cute.
Yeah.
Intro.
We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep that intro going. But it's been such a long time since we've last filmed.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna have some catching up to do. But we have some questions prepared for this week's episode. This month's episode. But, would you want to do, like, back and forth? Like, you answer, then I answer.
Yeah.
Okay. So, our first our first question was, like, what
is In the Shadows? Like, TVA. Like, if you were to describe it to, like, someone who's never seen it, like, what would you say that this is?
That's just what our podcast is called.
No, but, like, it's like we talk about, like, shadow work stuff, / like, life
True.
stuff.
Yeah. Like, learning, always growing.
Yeah.
Because usually we're all, like, evolution happens in, like, darkness. You know? That type of beat.
Yeah.
But
We're gonna
uncover
the darkness.
Yes, we're gonna uncover the darkness. And one episode at a time. But our first question was, what are 3 things that you've learned in 2024 so far?
You wanna go first?
Oh, me go first? Okay, wait. Where's my thingy? Hold up.
I can go first.
Okay, one thing that I've, like, really taken into account this past year, so I quit my job, right? Quitting jobs, having to do that, like... Really recently, like, within the past, less than a month, like, September 10th was my last day, and basically, like, from that job, it taught me, like, a whole bunch of things, but the best thing that it taught me is that it'll never get to, like, your worst expectation. Like, it'll never get, like, all the bad things, all of your bad, all of, like, the bad outcomes that I thought with the job, with, like, planning the events, and, like, just dealing with those certain types of situations. Like, I've always made it through them, you know? And it's, like,
never the worst case scenario.
Yes, it's never the worst case scenario, and if it is, then damn, I'll really plan for that.
Yeah.
But I think that's, like, one thing that's just, like, really helped me, because as the job continued, it was just like, oh, it'll be fine, you know? And it's just, like, less anxiety for, like, the upcoming, like, for the outcome, if that makes sense. So it's just, like, yeah, things will never, like, the end will never be your worst scenario, and if it is, then it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's mine, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do, like, one-on-one?
Yeah.
Okay. One of mine is to go where you're called because you're called for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's a big one. Like, you know, I also started, like, a new, like, career trajectory and stuff that was, like, low-key, like, a risk to take and, like, a leap to take. But I feel like I'm at a stage now where there's just things that I truly believe, like, I'm being led to where I'm supposed to be. Like, there's not things that are completely within my control.
Yeah.
And like a big part of it is like something like another force, like God or the universe or whatever, is leading me to where I'm supposed to go. And so I'm learning to like not resist it and to just like go where you're called, because there's a reason you're being called to that specific thing. So if there's like something in your life that it's just like you feel like a pull to, like whether that's anything, like career, relationships, like moving somewhere, like there's a reason you're pulled to that place. There's a reason you're called there. And so
man, like following, like trusting yourself, like kind of basically, yeah, trusting your intuition.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Damn, that is. Why is that tied into like my second thing?
What is it?
It's like learning to surrender, and like, you know, I've been like having so much like breakdowns. Breakdowns, just like not knowing like what's gonna happen next, and like just not knowing where to go, and like that. Whenever I get into that type of mode, I feel like I have an impulse to wanting to control everything, and then like that control leads me to like freeze a lot, and like in the end it just hurts me in the end. Does that make sense? It's just like whenever I get like I try to control, and then when I control I just freeze and I don't do anything, and it's just like ooh,
because things are so often out of your control.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's like when you try to control what's not in your control, it's like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Like this wasn't in the plan.
No.
Like
no.
The plan was for me to control everything. And like when things are not fitting into that, I think that's when like, you know, the serenity prayer that like I've like basically like went back to, and like that gave me like a lot of strength. It's just to like surrender where you need to surrender. And like another quote that like on top of that like has been helping me to learn surrender. It's like I've always had everything I needed. I have everything I need, and I will always have everything that I need. And it's like maybe that's coming from like a very privileged like point, like way to speak. But as of right now, it hasn't like failed me, if that makes sense. So yeah. You could also look at that as like abundance mindset.
True.
Too.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Abundance.
Yeah.
Like I think we are all living in abundance.
Yeah.
We should. Yeah.
I mean, the privilege is part of it. Yeah, but you can also have like an abundance mindset without having privilege. You know what I mean?
That is very true. Yes.
Like I just think of like, you know, people who like don't have a lot, but they feel like they have everything. Yes. You know, like it's truly like abundance is like in your mind.
You're so right.
And it's about how you frame it. So.
And I think like abundance is like everyone's birthright. Like just yeah. Just an opinion, but yeah.
Because truly, scarcity mindset is what makes the capitalism machine run.
That damn, you're so like, right.
Because it's like you're
in
like,
fear.
Yeah, you're in fear. I don't have enough. I don't have the best this or that. I don't have enough money for this or that. Like that's what fuels like workers and jobs and like systems. You know what I mean? And so it's like scarcity mindset.
Damn. Like to put you into a scarcity mindset to like make you think that you need all these things.
Yeah.
Damn, you're very much right.
Epiphanies.
But yeah, my second thing was learning how to surrender.
Nice. My second thing is it's okay to plant seeds that you won't harvest for a while.
Damn!
Like, that's been such a big one. Not everything is meant to happen quickly.
That's very true.
So, like,
yeah.
I think, like, just being in, like, a season where I have, like, kind of the freedom to create, like, the life and lifestyle I want, also knowing that that's not going to happen overnight, or even in, like, 6 months or even a year type of thing. Like, truly, it takes, like, you know, the longer you plant the seeds, like, the better the harvest, right? Like, things that are worth having will take time.
That's very, very true.
And so now, I think the hesitation with, like, planting seeds for a long time was, like, I was always afraid of, like, I don't want to plant, like, the quote-unquote wrong seeds, wait for a long time, find out at the harvest that I planted the wrong seed and like I should have been doing a different seed instead.
Yeah.
But honestly, the more that I just like have the mindset of like there's no good or bad choices, there's just choices.
Yes.
And like the more I can just full send any decision that I make, the better outcome it has been for me.
Girl, why are you inspiring me right now? Oh my gosh.
That's what this is for.
But may I ask, like, what's one seed you've planted or like you're planting right now, if you want to share?
One seed I've planted or am planting. I guess kind of like what I'm doing now or like have upcoming for the year is like I applied for my master's and I'm like committing to this 2-year program, and I've had to commit to this 2-year program like 6 months ago.
Right,
so it's even like longer term than that. So even like 6 months ago, I had to have the foresight of being like, will I still want this in 2 years? Is the thing, you know what I mean? And like, I didn't know that at the time, but I was just like, I know enough to know that this is where I'm being pulled right now, and who knows what it's gonna be in 2 years after the program is done. But if I want whatever that is, the seeds have to be planted now.
Right. Yeah.
So I can harvest them in 2 years, even though I won't see it for a while. But you just have to trust that it's out there, you know?
They say the best time to like plant a tree was 20 years ago.
Yeah,
so
the second best time is now.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that quote. Yeah.
Yes, I remember hearing it one time and I was like, I'm gonna steal it.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my goodness, I love that. But my third thing basically is to celebrate the small things. Because like it's super important. It's super important to celebrate the small things like for yourself, because like within like adulthood, I just feel like there's not enough like recognition from like other people, because like we're no longer in like our kiddie stages where like we're getting like
medals
yellow,
and stuff,
so now it's just like you have to take on that responsibility to like validate yourself, to know that you're doing good, because not a lot of people will do it, you know?
That's so true.
And it's like of course, like so thankful for like our friend group, and like we're always like constantly like telling each other good job, but like the most important thing is like understand that you're doing a good job, like you yourself, you're doing a good job. So that was like the biggest thing, and like I think that's like a quote, or not a quote, but like something that I've told to another friend of mine from work, and she was just like, it changed her life, because like she just felt like she wasn't being appreciated at work, but like she was doing all these good things, but it's like, no, don't wait for them to like appreciate you. You appreciate yourself first. And like she got like happier, or like it turned out for the best for her. So that was like a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what they say? The woman who needs no external validation is the woman to be feared.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's the most powerful person.
No. Yes. And I remember
that
100%. And I remember it's like, if no one like, or of course my mind is like such a negative Nancy sometimes. It's like, if no one needs you, or if you're not needed, then you're free, like type of situation. Like it can go both ways, you know, with that quote, but that's just what I was thinking about.
Interesting. What made you learn that lesson? Like to celebrate the small things?
I think it was just because like I just felt that within like the job, like within like the past job, like there were so many like little things that I would do that like would go unnoticed. And it's just like, am I doing this for like validation, or am I actually doing this to like help? You know what I mean? So I'm just like, okay, like let me reframe the mindset. It's like, I want to do this to help you, and I don't want anything back from you. You know, so it's like, let me validate myself, because I know that I did something good. And like, yes, they may not see it or not, but just to know that my intention was there, and it's like the best way that I could do it. So that's why.
Yeah. I like that too, because then you're not putting
waiting.
Well, you're not putting your happiness in other people's hands.
Yes.
Is a thing.
Yes.
Like, waiting around for external validation is like basically another form of giving others the responsibility of making you happy.
Yeah.
When it's like your own feelings are your own responsibility.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
And there's so like, and honestly, like with that practice, it practices like gratitude. You know, like a lot of like gratitude within yourself, and like just like being constantly like thankful for like the small victories.
Yeah.
So yeah, just like the small things matter, you know.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, that's my third one.
My third one is I feel like we've talked about this a lot over the past year, but my last one would be like the timeline is fake.
Yeah.
Like the timeline, whatever timeline you think you have for your life, it's fake. And what I mean by that is that truly, like, you can have like, you know, plans for your life or structures, or say that you want to achieve this or do this or live here or have X, Y, and Z by such and such age. That's a big one, I feel like, for women. Is like, you have to be married by 30, kids by 35. You know what I mean? Like, especially with women, there's such like a deadline. There's such an emphasis on timelines and deadlines.
And men don't have that. You know, like, I just don't know this.
Yeah.
Them being like pressured with anything. Like,
It's low-key, it's the biology thing. It's everything is like wrapped around like woman's like internal clock, which is like irrelevant at this point.
Yeah.
In society, right? But it's still, I don't know. The pressures are still there because we've all internalized it, right?
It's been ingrained within us.
Yeah. And so I guess like one of my lessons is that like the whole timeline that you have for yourself or whatever is truly like, it's just a broad guideline, but things are probably not going to happen that way just because you said it.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, there's, you know, certain like milestones and things like that that I thought would happen differently, and it just didn't, and that's okay because it needed to happen in that way. And so like the timeline is fake. The future is truly a figment of your imagination. Like,
and you're the creative director, baby.
Yeah. The past is a figment of your imagination. The future is a figment of your imagination. There's only the present moment and what you're doing in the present moment that creates your future, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, whatever the timeline is, like, screw that, because however I live my day-to-day life is going to create the timeline along the way. So,
and like you are able to create the timeline.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I kind of love that.
Yeah.
Like, we are our own painters of our lives.
Yeah. It's true, though.
It is.
I mean, to a certain extent. I feel like there's an extent that's out of our control, too.
Oh, 100%. Like, I think, but the thing is, like, at least you're moving along. Because, like, there's, like, two ways of thinking. Like, you can get nihilistic about it, where it's like, oh, if it doesn't, you know, like, if it's just gonna end up, like, why even do it? Yeah. But, like, that's, like, not the point to be made. And I think, like, the book of Job, like, talks about this, too. It's, like, or Ecclesiastes, I forget which Bible book, but, yeah. It's, like, things are gonna happen, but should that give you the reason to, like, not do anything?
Yeah.
Like,
that's really your choice, right?
Right. Yeah.
But again, it's like, are you going to put your unhappiness in the hands of something else, right?
Or are you going to actually
like,
try?
Something about it,
Are you going to pick up the paintbrush and, like, dip your colors and try? Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
I love me
You love your metaphor.
I really do. I love a farming metaphor, too. Like,
so true. Okay. The next one is, what is something that has improved your life? It can be a lesson you've learned, a physical object, or something you do every day.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
My iPad. My iPad is like right there. I'll put a iPad picture right here. But it's just like on
they all know what an iPad is.
In case you don't know. But it's just like the way that the way that I've actually incorporated it within like my school life, because I just feel like I wasn't taking advantage of it like when I had it in the beginning. But now it's like I'm actually utilizing it like with good notes, and like I'm able to like annotate all my papers with. It's just like, because I know that like I get stuck in like patterns, or like I get stuck in like wanting to do things a certain way, but it doesn't like help me in the end. Like I know that I can sometimes get into that because I get like resistant of like change.
Can you provide an example?
So like I would just want to do like pen and paper. Like, like just pen and paper, because that's what I've always done, and so it's worked for me. But in the end, it's just creating more work for me, like having to print out like the readings that are like a gajillion pages long, or like having to like read from like my laptop that's like kind of hard to like annotate.
Yeah.
And like, so it's just like actually utilizing the tools that you have like to better your life. Like, why not do that? And my iPad definitely taught me that. As stupid as it sounds, like
no,
I hate it. Like I hate that.
You know how close I was to also saying iPad.
Oh,
and then I changed it. But that was like second on the list. But honestly, I think that's fair. That's also like one of the things from the Bible. It's like that's being a steward of your resources. Because there's like things that it's our responsibility to steward, and that's like the earth, ourselves, like being a good person, taking care of the planet, and then the last thing is like resources. So like being smart with like what is given to you, and like making good use of it, because that's how you appreciate something, right? It's like making good use of it. Like you're not gonna like have an iPad and have it collect dust, right? Like you're truly like using it for what its purpose is, and using it to, improve. Improve
myself, improve like, and with improving myself, it improves like other people too. So my iPad, it's consumeristic.
I'm glad you said that, because I almost said that. my backup is iPad also. I would say so. Mine was kind of like a concept, but basically one thing that has improved my life is like the understanding like dopamine.
Ooh.
Like that's been like such a big one, especially after like coming back from our trip and stuff in the summertime, and also coming back from like a job. Also coming back from like a job that provided me with a lot of dopamine, because it was like very fast paced, things are different, and then like immediately like no, like nothing rewarding happening. Like you have to find the dopamine in other ways. Like understanding.
Damn, that's really good actually.
What?
Like coming off from a high.
That's the whole like. That's how you have to think of it, because it's truly like it's drugs. Like your neurochemicals are chemicals, right? It's like they're chemicals that get pumped out through your hormonal glands. So your pituitary gland, your adrenal gland, those are all like, things that affect you biologically, and so it's like your body responds like addiction. You know what I mean?
No, that's why people are addicted to stress, too.
Or their phones. Phone addiction, like screen addiction. It's the dopamine. Right. And I think like I've been on a quest. Like I don't understand everything there is to understand yet, but I've been on a quest to like solidify my understanding of like where I'm getting my dopamine and how I can get it from better sources. Because like, if you're bored, like your brain is gonna crave like the reward chemical. And you're gonna get it through like unhealthy habits, or like things that you just don't want as like a habit in your life. And so I guess part of that too is like being more intentional with the habits in my life. So like getting my dopamine from like spending time with like loved ones, or doing something creative. Slow hobbies is like my new like concept of like
slow hobbies. Wow, what a good concept actually.
Of getting dopamine, right? Because you can have hobbies, but some of them are like I would say fast hobbies,
Yes.
where it gives you like quick hits of dopamine. Like video games is like a fast hobby. It's like a quick hit. But like stuff like painting or drawing or reading.
Writing too.
Yeah, writing. Yeah. Those are like slow. It's like slow burn.
Yeah.
Like you get the reward
slow
after.
Slow burn romance.
Yeah. You get the reward like slowly after like a long time. So yeah, I'm just being more conscientious of like the sources of dopamine in my life, so I'm not caught as much in like scrolling or doing things that like make me feel like I've lost like
half the day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I hate that feeling so much.
Currently dealing with that right now.
That's okay.
Yes.
That's totally fine.
So too. This is like confirmations, like weaning off. Yeah. You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. Bro, this podcast is like for me for the books. Like honestly, I'm gonna be rewatching this podcast for like a long time. Okay, so
right?
our final question.
For the people.
No, right. This is for our own validation. Yeah. To be honest, yeah. Okay, so our last question: 3 things that you're grateful for, and just go off and.
I was gonna say, can we just go boom boom?
Yes.
Boom? Okay. Okay. So my like top one, as cliche as it sounds, like I'm grateful that all of my basic human needs are met, like food, water, shelter, electricity, like Wi-Fi. Honestly, is like a basic human need these days. Like
should be a right, to be honest.
Yeah. The internet, like access to knowledge, but that's a different conversation.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm grateful that those are things I like rarely have to think about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so like truly, that's something we take for granted so much. Is like the fact that I truly don't think I would ever like be in a position to like go hungry.
Yeah.
Like food is always accessible to me. Like I just heard about like my friend who lives in like a different state. Like her roommate, she lives in an area where the nearest grocery store is 1 hour away.
Oh my gosh!
And so when they go to the grocery store, they like stock up like multiple like fridges and freezers, and it's like it's insane. And like the fact that we have one like at every corner.
Yeah.
And like even if for some reason all the grocery stores are closed, like I can name like 3 people in my neighborhood who I could like knock on their door to give me food.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's the little things, right?
No, yes.
So like the fact that I don't have to think about like my basic human needs every day, like that's something to be so grateful for. So that my second one is that I can like immediately name multiple people who love me and who I love. Like also such a privilege. It's like having people who love you, but also having people who you're able to love.
Yeah.
Like just having people in your life like that, like such a huge thing to be grateful for, because so many people don't have that, and like so many people are lonely and things like that. Like not to make this like a
it's so true
oppression Olympics, but it's honestly like I think human relationships are one of the it's like ranked among one of the highest like factors that gives people meaning in their life. Like when they interview like old people and like you know people from different countries and cultures, it's like the underlying like theme is relationships. And like that's the number one factor of living like a healthy and long life is relationships. And so like the fact that I have that already, I'm like, if I, you know, live my whole life with like this kind of format, it's like pretty good.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, basic human needs, people I love, who love me. And the last one is kind of like the liberty to be able to create the life that I want, and like to be in this chapter of life. I think I've been thinking a lot about being a young adult, like specifically like in your 20s. Like it's such a time of like transformation. It's basically adult puberty. You know?
I like that, yeah.
It's the puberty years of your adult life, right? Because then after this, it's like, you know, you kind of figure things out a little bit more. But in your 20s, it's like your first stab at like adult life, right? And like that's scary, but also liberating, because you're like, I can take risks and mess up and explore And that's like a freedom that's not afforded to every stage of life. Like I couldn't, like I don't know, like I don't think I could be like 60 and be like, I'm gonna just explore my life. You know, like at that age you have different thoughts. And so like the ability to do this, I feel like is very much a privilege of being a young person. And I'm trying to like be conscious of that while I'm in it. Yeah. You know, like they're very much like the good old days. Like, we're in the good old days, you know?
It's like, you know, I think like the big conversation is like you don't have like your own family, you know, like having like children or like having that's like a different type of familial obligations. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just different. Yeah. So it's like the fact that we don't have that right now. I'm not trying to sound like bad or anything, but it's just like it is like a great thing to like have right now. Yeah. Like our singleness.
Yeah. And that, I mean, that just goes along with like what you value, right?
True.
Like, if you value like the lifestyle of being single, then like it's a good thing.
That's true.
Right? But if you value like family life, then maybe for you that's a good thing. If you want to have a family young, whatever, like that's your own values.
Yes,
right?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's fine. For me, like my first one is like being able to like my body being able to function, like being able to see, like being able to like walk, and like it's something that like I feel like I just don't like utilize to like the best of my ability, but it's like something I'm so grateful for to have. And it's like it makes me want to like do more. Like I'm able to like do all of these things, and like some people just don't have like the privilege of like that. So having like being able to see, being able to like write, being able to walk, go upstairs, like jump, like all of those things, so grateful for. Like very grateful for my body, and it makes me like talking about it just makes me want to like take care of my body more. You know, just like take care of the temple that I have for now, you know, because bro, whenever I get sick, it just like throws me off in a loop, and I just like but now I'm just like, okay, take care of my body as much as I can. Like really basic thing, as you said, like being able to have food in my fridge. Like such a big thing for me. I don't know why. It's just like being able to just like open up my fridge and having like things like to like nourish my body. It's like, you know, they say like if you have like water and like food, you're basically like 70% richer than like the rest of the world. So it's just like those though it's not, it's like it's little but not like they think it's little things, but it's not really little things. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how we would classify it. You know, I think it's just
they're
like
human needs.
Yes. Yeah. Human needs. So body function, fridge, and also just like as like basically we're saying like singleness. Like I think I'm finally at a point, because like I used to be such like a romanticaholic, like fed that bullshit since like, you know, like I think like because I'm just like in a reflective moment where it's like, you know, back in like middle school and high school, it's so like romanticized with like getting into a romantic relationship. Wattpad didn't help either, and then like going into like my 20s, like wanting a relationship, and where like I felt like that held me back and like within like my thinking, because like that was like end all be all. But now it's just like I'm exploring such a different side that I never thought I would like get to. I didn't imagine this when I was like 16 or 18.
Imagine what?
Like being able to enjoy singleness.
Oh.
Yeah, like I was so heavy boy crazy. Like very much so, but now it's just like I don't know, I think it's just like what frontal lobe like developing or something like that, but it's just like being
You're 25 now?
Yeah,
that's the age of frontal lobe. It's fully grown.
Right. So it's just like being able to like be single and understanding like what I truly want and not what was like fed to me through like books and like media that I was constantly consuming. So it's just like I'm exploring like a whole nother person right now.
Like when you're saying that like, because I've been thinking about that exact concept too of like, you know, people are always like, you're gonna find love when you stop looking for it, and I'm like, I call BS, but like, how much of that is true? You know what I mean? And like, I think a lot of it too is like the pressure that we have felt to like be in a relationship is tied to that timeline thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shoot, if I have to get married by this age, that means I have to find someone by this age, and then I have to be dating. You know what I mean? And
it's like
it's
I thought I would be married by now. You know what I mean? Like 25. Like I like when I was younger, I thought like that was the prime. Like I thought I would have already like had a kid by now too.
Yeah.
That was just like how I thought when I was like younger.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like
the timeline is fake.
It is.
And then I also came to the conclusion that when it comes to like stuff like that, it's truly like it's not being hidden from you. It's like just not your time. Do you know what I mean?
So,
like I always used to have this mentality of like, because I never like dated in high school or anything, or even in college, and I always used to have this mentality of like, there's something that's like being hidden from me, or like something is like keeping this from being a part of my life. You know what I mean? Like everyone has access to like this part of adulthood that I don't have access to for whatever reason. And I kind of like switched that thinking recently to where nothing is being kept from me. Like I truly am getting everything that I need all the time.
Yeah. Yes.
And so if I don't have something, it's because it's not my time.
Yes.
Not because something's being kept from me.
Yes.
For whatever reason.
Oh my gosh.
And so that like changed like a lot for me too, and like also is helping me enjoy like this season of life, because it's like things come when they come, like things are introduced to you when you need it.
Yes.
And it's all about when it's the right time for you.
Yeah.
And that's something that we don't have control over.
Yeah. The timing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I think, you know, of course, like believing in God, believing in the universe, like things will come when it's meant to come. And like, as you said, like you're planting fruits now, you know, you're planting seeds now, and maybe they'll grow on in like the later times.
Yeah, the fruits, we'll eat them later.
Yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like, I'm not even like, it's like a weird, I have this like weird reverse psychology type of thing with me, where it's like, I'll just do this now, and then like at the end, like I'll just find like my guy. But like it's such a bad psychology. Like I'm like you know, like it's been like I'm working on it. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
It's like way less than it was now.
Yeah.
But now it's just like I'm actually enjoying the journey. It's like I'm not just looking towards like the end goal of like finding a partner or like whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So
the journey is the thing.
Yes, the journey is the thing. It's like, you know how many stories I can tell my kids? You know what I mean? It's just like, or I can like tell anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like,
I love that.
I have a bonus question. Are you down to answer it? Oh.
What's your bonus question?
What is one thing you want to do more of?
Wait, why am I literally like exercising right now? Look, it's trying to...
Is it because your heart rate is like
No, I clicked it by accident, but I have like a dance exercise going on for the past 30 minutes, so anyways.
I just did dance earlier today. But what is one thing you want to do more of in the fall season?
Oh, one thing I want to do more of in the fall season. I want to nurture my curiosity. Like, I want to read more books, and I want to learn about things that interest me, and yeah, like things that have nothing to do with like my job now, or like, you know, are really helpful in the present moment, but just things that I'm curious about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I want to like nurture my curiosity in that way. Because I feel like it's been a while since I've had like the time and like mental space to like be curious. Because honestly, like being able to like sit down and be truly curious about something is such a privilege. And I realized this in college because I would just be in classes like you ever have those classes where you're just like you're so engrossed in the subject, but like the subject is like it's not anything that will like immediately affect your day-to-day life. Like if you're having like a debate about something and you're like really into it, your professor's really into it, the students are really into it, but like you leave class and like your life is not like drastically different, right? Like the sun still sets, and like, you know, everything is as it is, but being able to like be in those spaces that you can just have like just be curious for no reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what is the root of this word, or like why is, you know, this like law this way, or like where did it come from?
To actually learn. Yeah.
Like things that actually like would not affect your life either way, but like being able to be curious about them, I think is such a privilege because it means, well, one, it means you have all of your human needs met.
Yeah.
And then you have mental and emotional space to like think about broader topics.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fine.
Oh, I like it. For me, I want to do like at least once a week, like social activities by myself, like alone.
Solo
like,
date?
Yeah.
Solo date?
Not solo date, but like going to like, oh, I guess solo dating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Frick yeah. Like the just like doing like going to like certain places where it's like having like little events and going to it by myself and like just to like see, you know, just to like go out of my comfort zone because like feel like I'm finally in a space where now I can like seek that out rather than having a lot of people talk to me because like from my last job, so now it's like I guess I'm kind of replacing my dopamine hit of like talking to people all the time, but now actually choosing the things that I want to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I low-key want to do something similar too.
Yeah. It's like just find like, I don't know, coffee hour or like a little like book reading, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's
Love
just
that.
want that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I want to do more in the fall.
I love that.
At least maybe 2 to 3 times a month.
That's solid.
Yeah.
I think you can do it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this was such a good episode. Like
it was. I'm curious to see at the end of fall
where we're all gonna be at. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see it too.
That's fun.
Yay! But thank you guys for joining us in our little podcast episodes in the adows. But this is
Celine.
This is Heidi, and we are signing off. Bye. Should we do that again? I don't know.
We never had a sign off before. I think that was good.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. We're gonna keep this in though. Bye. I'm gonna keep this.
See ya.
See ya.